This is quite a long video of going through a thought process of what the heck's wrong with this 2.5 diesel. I used my thermal imaging camera to give me a few clues, and once I worked it out I was thinking, well, it could be mechanical, but it wasn't until I put the 4 injectors in the air and looked at this, not only the spray pattern but what was happening in slow motion. So I've put a slow motion section in this video towards the end, and you can see exactly what's happening. It was something that I'd never ever thought possible, because there were new injectors, but were they right? Stick around. I know a lot of you out there have been excited and trying to find out what is wrong with this 2.5. I've been trying to respond to a lot of messages, both private and online on YouTube, but it doesn't make any sense. And the more I look on this, I think I'm backing completely up the wrong tree. I don't think there's anything wrong with the fuel system at all. I honestly don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with the camshaft. I think it's something deeper. The smoke blow-by is not really a concern of mine. They all blew smoke out. I've got a sneaking feeling that it might be a bad piston, a bad gudgeon pin, or the wrong rod. Let me explain this, because we had a 300 TDI a while ago, and if you can remember the story, the gudgeon pin bushes had gone, the little end bushes had gone, or wrist pin as they call it in the States, and you had to buy rods with bushes already pre-installed. You could buy the bushes, but I couldn't find anybody to put them in. In fact, come to think about it, machine shop still got them. He hasn't done them yet. Yeah, so, but when I was assembling it, obviously we didn't get new pins to go in it, so we had some used ones. They were good. I didn't realise there was 2 different types. And Dave put a flea in my ear. He says, oh, what's, you know, to do this in balancing, are you going to balance the rods? And then I sort of took the pistons out again. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. These are used. They're from India. We don't know what the hell they're like. And sure enough, they were mismatched in weight, and also there was one that I'd inadvertently picked up a pin that was about half as much again in weight as the other 3, which would have thrown it out completely. Now, could that have happened here? Somebody didn't know. There's been some problems with the bottom end or something like that, or it's bent a rod, quite common. And did they replace the rod with a petrol rod? They're a bit lighter apparently, and they're a different part number. It's always number 3 cylinder. No matter what I do, I can throw the injectors up in the air and put them in a different order. Still the same. You would have thought the problem, if it was a misfiring injector, would go the other way. And also, Jason was kind enough to send us from Germany a set of brand new injectors. Same problem. Sent the injector pump away to a reputable shop, CAV authorised repair shop, and they said there was nothing wrong with that pump. It was perfect. They said, if you want to strip it down, we'll strip it down, but we didn't see much point really. Put it back on, new timing belt, exactly the same. Rebuilt the head, that was alright. People are saying it's the wrong push rods. Well, all the push rods for the 2.5 type blocks are all the same. Same for the petrols, they're all the same. The camshafts are all the same for the petrols and diesels. They use so many common parts it was untrue. So there's something amiss with this motor. Really, I think it's in the bottom end now. And you see what's sort of throwing me a little bit is, because it's got the impression of being a misfire, it's shaking, if you see what I mean, like there's nothing there. Now, I thought as an interesting experiment, we'll start this up, and I've got my digital camera here, and we'll have a look at the exhaust temperatures coming out. Now I'll just show you how it starts up, and then I'll get the end. I'll switch off the video and warm it up, and then we'll have a listen. We'll have a look at the manifold when it's warming up, and we'll have a look at the manifold when it's hot. And now I also was suggested to listen to the injector pipes. I don't know why, but I listened to them with a stethoscope, and they all seemed the same to me. I don't even know what I was listening to because I've never had to listen to that before. People said that the injector pipes were blocked. Nope. Tried 2 sets of injector pipes. I even washed them out and blew through them. They were fine. So there was no restrictions in them at all. It was suggested that the 2 pipes are on the wrong way around. Well, if that was the case, we'd have 2 misfiring cylinders, wouldn't we? So it wasn't that. I don't know where. I've got a sneaking feeling it's in the bottom end. But the owners said that this car is going to go as a display vehicle, and they want to pick it up this week. Today is Monday. It's 1st of July, Canada Day today. So just look at me, still bloody working. So let's get this fired up. Let's get the camera out, and let's have a look, see what this manifold's doing. So I'm going to stop. I'll start it up. I'll show you how it starts. I'll put a little bit of glow plug on it. Oh, and by the way, I've just noticed the fuel tank's leaking. You can hear instantly it's missing. Look at it. It's got that old defecating dog syndrome. I think that cylinder's cold. I might have to take back everything I've said. It's kind of hard to see. Have a look with me. That pipe is hot, alright? So look at this back one. Stone cold. Absolutely stone cold. Number 3. Stone cold. Number 2, hot. That's not firing. That's not firing at all. Can we now say that this has to be a camshaft? Could it be a camshaft problem? Look at that. 70, 50, 95. Whoa, now there's something wrong with it. This could be our answer. Oh, look at the crack up here. Bloody British military, eh? Look at that. So those are brand new injectors. The pump's been tested. And that could account for the smoke in the crankcases. It's just unburnt diesel getting through somewhere. Well, that was kind of exciting, wasn't it? The camera's very difficult to read, but it did prove one point that it was cold at the back. Is it a camshaft? You know. Let me go and get my key. See, let's try this again. Not firing. Let me go and get a spanner, I'll test the spill return. Nothing coming out in the spill return. I can hold the back exhaust. Yeah, I can. That's really odd. I can hold the rear exhaust pipe. Yeah, I'll go and get the camera. I'm going to shout out the figures I find on this engine. I've got 125 Celsius on the front exhaust pipe. I've got 42 on the back. .76 on number 3. And 110 on number 2. I should try and get a picture. Look at it. that's that then. Oh yeah, I bet I know what's wrong with that. I bet it's run out of fuel. Ah, bugger. But there's something not right. Even if it was full of fuel, it's that back cylinder's low. Let me put some diesel in it. One bleed through later. The bloody tank's got a hole in it now. That wasn't there before. I think all the shaking's shaken all the rubbish out of it, out the joints. Yeah, there's so much really. This needs stripping down. The front two cylinders are fine. The pistons are fine. Everything looks good. I mean, I'm saying good. I'm saying workable. The head's good. It's not making excessive rattling noises, so the tappets are good. They're set right. But it's always the same problem at the back. Now, if it had a wrong rod in it, it was too light, so obviously I'm talking out the backside now, because that manifold was stone cold at the back. Yeah, the front one was red hot. These are new injectors. I don't know. Rev it up a bit and see what happens. At the front, 68 at the back. You know, heat's travelling through the manifold of it. I don't know. Timing's right because it starts up like a dream. You know, the sad part about it is I don't think we'll ever find out what's wrong with it. If it goes back this week, we won't fix it. I'll look a bit more grey than I've been doing. I've been trying to do my taking the grouting out of my bathroom to get that finished out the tile. I thought I'd jump on this, seeing the one it back. It's nice and hot, it's really hot. I mean, I haven't got the fan on, I should have the fan on, but... So you stop it. Oh. I don't know. I'm going to call the owner and see what he wants to do. That's no good like that. It's going to seize up or it's going to do something spectacular. But it just goes to show you that the how your train of thought can go from one extreme to another in a matter of minutes. As soon as I checked that exhaust, that wasn't firing. Because even if there was a broken ring or something like that, which I doubt it, you've still got another 3 rings in there to keep compression up, or well, two to keep compression up. But the thing is, it still should fire, you know, even if it's very low. It's just almost like putting a decompressor on. It would fire, but it wouldn't have no power. And that engine's hot now. It's really hot. And it's up to pressure. The hoses are rock hard. I don't know. Sick of these pregnant pauses, aren't you? All right, let me have a chat with the owner and see what he wants to do, because it's just not right. The thing is, I keep jumping back onto myself. It's got the potential of being a very good engine. You know what I mean? It's got a potential of being a good engine. Oh, I just thought somebody said that the crank could be cracked. Well, that's possible, but surely we would have heard a bit of a knocking and a rumbling from down below. But it is possible. We won't know until we get underneath and pull this engine out. Damn, and I've got so much work on as well. Well, let's see what he says. So, signing off on this beautiful hot July Canada day. I'm going to get a glass of sherry to cool down. I don't think there's anything else I can do on this. 2 sets of injectors. Surely, you know, 2 sets have to be right. And when I cracked off the pipe, I keep going back on myself. When I cracked off the pipes, there's fuel coming out of the pipes. The only thing, I'll tell you what I might do, just hold this thought. What I'm going to do is something really weird. I'm going to take the injectors out, I'm going to turn them upside down and point in the air. Then we'll know for sure if it's a fuel problem. Haha. Right, I've removed the injectors. I've left the wire on the pump so it'll start, well, it'll let fuel through. And as an experiment, I know the front 2 cylinders were working, so I'm going to put the front 2 injectors on the back 2 pipes, the ones that weren't working. Now, that will prove whether it's the pump or the injectors. Let's see what happens. So here we go, this is real time. I've got the injectors out. I've got them pointing up. This was number 4, 3, 2, 1. I haven't put the spill return on. Let's see what happens. You ready? I've got a leak. I've got a leak. They're all injecting. This one seems a bit weak. I'm just going to pull it out of the way. This was on number 4. There was another leak somewhere. I don't know where it was. Let's try that again. These two didn't seem to be as strong. These two were okay. that is. Let's try that again, just one more. It's quite difficult for me to see from a different angle, you know. I don't know. They seem to be working to me. Oh, I know. Here's about this for a test. These two here, how's about I swap them over to see if the old ones were okay. Alright, I've done this experiment again, but this time I put a block of wood on here to stop the compression air blowing the mist away. So I noticed when I took two of these injectors out, there were no name ones. But so now it's got all 4 CAV injectors in. A distinct difference. These front two might be set too low. Let's put the right, I've put all the injectors back in as they were originally, but they're in the wrong order, if you see what I mean. So that would be number 4, 3, 2, 1. The pattern to me looks quite good on the rear cylinders, which obviously goes to prove that the pump was okay. So, what do you think? I think those rear injectors are firing great. The front ones look a bit low, but it might be me looking at a different angle. I can't see very well. Of course, it's brilliant sunshine. It would have been nice if I could have had somebody to turn the key. You know something? I'm going to put them back in again and see if the fault moves. With a good spray pattern like that from the back cylinders, it has to be, the pump has to be okay. It has to be. See what I'm trying to get at? And with a new set of injectors, well, it should be okay. I must admit these set of injectors here that have been sort of cleaned and reset didn't have as much spray pattern. It should be okay. I want to bung them back in again and see if that back... See now if we've moved the problem the other way around, and if it's still the same, then we have to have something mechanical wrong with this. It has to be. So, injectors back in again, but I didn't put the spill return on. I just want to see what's coming out of them. Right, let's have a little zoom and see what happens. It'll take a little cranking to get diesel around it now, but Oh, they seem okay. I'll leave it running for a bit. Now I'll go and get me thermal camera. This is odd. This is really odd. I've got 111 degrees on the back. 62 at the front, 83 on number 2, and 103 on number 3. I'm going to put the spill return on. Put the spill return on, we'll check it again. Really weird, eh? I don't run this engine much longer because it's got no damn fan on and no cowling. But I'm going to shout out the temperatures again. .72 on number 1. 105 on number 2, 128 on 3, and 148 on 4. So effectively what we've done is we've turned everything upside down.